man's death
You know
mean
why
to the
I am
Luo community?
amused?
Yes.
When you see people praise you, call you all those beautiful names, it is not always that you are such a good person. It is sometimes that you can help them if they gaslight you. The moment somebody just gets into power, praises come pouring, songs come pouring, and people even say you are an angel or even if you are not. Because Raila Amolo Odinga controlled the Luos. Every Luo politician would praise him to the bone. Every musician would want to praise him. Not that he was that good. No. He was a perfect mobilizer. He knew how to control his subjects. He knew what to tell them. He knew how to deal with opponents. When Raila Odinga was taking over Luo land, there was a man in Noma Bay called Odoyo. They banned 5 of his buses because he appeared to be an opponent, even though he wasn't. He was just in Kanu, a businessman. And a man called Akechi, a Kanu stalwart there, had his hardware and lorry banned. A man called Owigolang had his Land Rover thrown in the lake. And that is Noma Bay only. So don't think Raila Odinga took the Luo on a silver plate. But you see, when he does that, the people who are watching think he is so loved that anybody who opposes him will have his property destroyed. Because that is the shallow thinking of human beings. You get it? So these people that you see are praising him. Majority of them were not praising him because it was so good, because they wanted his favors. You remember I told you in the beginning that there were some 2 politicians that Raila Odinga told me when we sat with him that he knows they don't like him. But what matters to him is what they say. And those are very senior politicians. In fact, to make this story more interesting, I will name them. They were James Orengo and Anyang' Nyong'o, 2 governors. He told me, these people, I know they don't like me, but it is what they say about me in public that matters. So do not think when praises come, even when some people got into government, people who are very little known, the moment they got into government, lucrative places, praises started coming pouring. That's what I'm telling you.
Yes.
Raila Odinga himself told me, I know they don't like me, but it is what they say in public. And you see why we like Gen Zs, you see, like you don't have the benefit of history. There was something called the Battle of Sega, where Raila Odinga squared it off with James Orengo. And the journalist reporting on that day for KTN was the current Linus Kaikai, describing Raila as Agwambo and Orengo as Nyatieng. And why Raila won that battle easily? Because he had already started cooperating with Moi, and he was now a minister. So he had both the police and youth on his side. Orengo had the youth. And that is where Orengo lost the battle, and Raila subdued him. And he lost his next general election and came back when he came back to Raila on his knees. Same to Anyang' Nyong'o. In the Battle of Sega, there was to be a fundraising in Sega. Sega was in Orengo's constituency. So he had to be there as an MP. And Raila wanted to be there to show Orengo that he's the king. And so the battle was going to be physical. So Raila mobilized his youth, and Orengo mobilized his youth. But Raila had one more advantage. He was in government as a minister. And so he had extra firepower and intelligence. And that is how he beat Orengo to that battle. And it was decisive. And that is where Orengo gave up that I can't fight this man. That's how it is done. The government would have a problem if the Luo are divided and some choose not to go to it. But that again is not a big problem because the votes will be taken from the whole of Kenya. If we have a few Luos not vote for President William Ruto, some vote for him, a few Giriamas and Turkanas and Masais vote for him, he can still win. Because for now, people are saying Ruto must go, and they are very happy to say so, because they don't know who is this taking over after him. The day the successor will be named, or rather the possible successor, you will discover he's just cut from the same cloth as President William Ruto. He is no different. He could probably be Matiang'i, the man who disobeyed 12 court orders in 5 years. He could probably be Kalonzo, a man we have had in this country over the years, and his sins are waiting to be read on the table as he watches. He could be
Rigathi
Rigathi Gachagua.
Yes.
That one don't even talk about it. So they are people. They are just Kenyans cut from the same cloth. There's nobody new. If they had brought a Gen Z to say now we agencies are taking over because you old men are used to corruption, you are used to this, then I would probably sit back and get worried.
Okay.
But these people just pushed the Gen Zs to shake the government, but they're actually not intending to make Gen Z the president.
What?
Because a Gen Z has the advantage of not having committed any political crime.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
But they are not going to do it because we are inherently selfish.
Okay.
That is why we are busy singing Ruto must go without saying going to leave it for who. Because what you do in politics, make sure that your enemy has been demonized to an extent that people say, hata kama ni umbwa, we will replace him. Then that is when now you bring the umbwa to replace him. But if you bring somebody now, he will be beaten to smithereens. I was worried about their disunity.
Yes.
Not that the unity was so helpful to them.
Yes.
But you see, when they are not united, it is difficult for them to bargain for anything.
Okay.
It is difficult for them to be taken seriously. It is difficult for their votes to be worth anything. Because if you have 3 presidential candidates and you give each 1 million, you're going nowhere. So that is why I was worried for them.
Yes.
But also, to many of them, it was going to be freedom. Because if you remember in Lowland, we have many elected leaders who do not even deserve their seats. They only have those seats courtesy of the favor from Raila Odinga. Courtesy of the fact that Raila Odinga raised their hands in public to be elected, and they got elected, but they have not performed. So it is a time the people of Lowland are going to elect leaders of their choice.
Okay.
Tell you that Baba did not only lead the Luo, but I must also tell you, when you go to the wild, you've seen the wildebeest migration. Alongside those wildebeests are gazelles and zebras and other animals. But the patriarch of those wildebeests is leading the wildebeests together with those animals now. While Raila Odinga was leading a large juggernaut of Luo, people who wanted to benefit from that juggernaut would come and join. You know, when you have many people behind you, you look as a great leader. Who doesn't want to join a great leader? But I want also to tell you, business enterprises rarely survive their owners. Political parties in Kenya rarely succeed after their founders are dead, unless the current leader is in government and he will go the day it goes. You see, immediately President Moi died, or even before he died, he left office. KANU became a pale shadow of what it used to be. PNU propelled Kibaki to his second term, if it ever did, and that was it. Do you know that Kibaki was first elected in NAC? The one that Charity Ngilu is carrying in her briefcase, a piece of it, and Karwa is also carrying a piece of it, which she has now changed to PLP. Do you know, Ford Kenya was the party of Jaramogi. When he left it, it went into pieces, and Wetangula picked it up after Raila bolted out of it. There was a party even called Jubilee Alliance. Forget about the one we have now, the Jubilee Party. After it propelled Uhuru into power and Uhuru abandoned it, that was the end of it. Even this other one, Uhuru I saw went back for it because he has an agenda with it. Otherwise, it was also gone. With Raila Odinga gone, ODM is done. It is not going, it doesn't matter what they try to do, because nobody will accept to be led by another. Anybody who wants to lead a political party peacefully and safely must form his own political party or buy one. But trying to inherit ODM, it is not going to work. First of all, remember, ODM has millions in political parties funding. It has millions in contribution by members. And it has network countrywide. Who is going to allow you to inherit that? The other members won't allow you. So it's going to be a struggle, a battle left and right until the general election. And then it will return to parliament with a handful of MPs. And that is it. That is the truth. Yes.